Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to tonight's stream. Just do a quick sound check. Make sure you can hear me okay. Hopefully, it's all good. I think we're all right. I think I can hear myself coming through the microphone. So, welcome again. How you doing? Nice to see everybody in. And yeah, Train Simulator Classic. So I picked up the East Coast mainline route today. It's an old route. 2012, I think it was, when this first came out. So it's been out quite some time. What, over 10 years? It was only $5.99, so I thought, well, why not? There's no sale on it at the moment. What can I get? $5.99. Thought it was worth a punt. It's got Deltics, and I thought we'd just run a quick scenario and see how we get on. Yeah. So how's everyone doing? Jed, how are you? Good evening. Nice to see you. Animal, welcome back. Suppose that's a good thing about having the East Coast mainline in TSW4. It leaves it open to get a Deltic and a Class 91 now that they've got the LNER license. I don't want to say it's a certainty. They're going to do, aren't they? They'd be mad. It's a license to print money, isn't it? They'd be mad if they didn't do it. Good evening, Big Tiny. How are you? You can hear me fine. Excellent. Right. Without further ado, then, shall we jump in? So I thought I'd do this one. Deltic diversion in the BR Green Class 55. It's just under an hour. It says it's 1964. Drive a Deltic from York to Darlington on a diverted Middlesbrough service while adhering to a timetable. I don't know about you, but it sounds good to me. Let's jump in. Okay, nice. Let me just turn this down in my ears because I don't know if this Deltic is going to actually blow my ears off. It might. It should. Let's get it into forwards. We'll put the headlights on, of course. Instrument lights are already on. I do believe we are ready to go. So let's get the brakes off. And I will take... I'll just have the minimum hood. I've been practicing with the minimum hood. You know, I always run with the full hood, but it takes up the whole of the cab, which is a bit naff. So we'll give it a go with this, shall we? And hopefully we'll be all right, because this one is pretty easy to control. And this is York Station. I'm running the AP, just a reminder, the Armstrong Powerhouse Sky and Weather Pack. So if it looks a bit brighter, that's why. And hopefully it will, because I had a quick run earlier on and didn't have the Sky and Weather Pack on and realised I had to reinstall it because I put a new route in. I had to reinstall it again, and I thought the Sky looked a bit naff, but anyway, it looks the business right now, so we'll go with it. Good evening, Dave. How are you? Edward, good evening. Nice to see you. Right, let's have a quick look outside, because of course we're leaving York Station, so we should have the Minster over to our right. It's just behind that building there. The Sky Pack makes a definite difference. There's the Minster over that side. This is D9003 Meld, this one. Yeah, you're right, Animal. Actually, there is an updated version. I did see that on the workshop. I'm going to download that. There's a review. No, it's a Steam review. A Steam review for this route has a link to it, but it's on a different website. You're absolutely right. So I will get that. Railway Museum to the left. Oh, that's the Railway Museum, is it? Or you mean over this side? I didn't realise it was so close actually to York Station. I knew it was pretty near, but I didn't realise it was that near. I think this was your first route, Dave, did you say, that you bought when you got Train Sim Classic? Apart from the ones you got with it, of course. We have got 29 miles to Northallerton. Platform 2. Oh, it's all the Railway Museum. That's interesting. You can kind of tell, can't you, that this is one of the older routes. It's not as detailed. But still, from what I saw of it before, when I briefly fired it up, because I literally bought it middle of this afternoon, I actually quite like it. I think it looks alright. And for a £5, if I'd have waited till October when the sale came, it'd probably be a couple of quid, but I just thought, what the hell, it's only a £5. I can get a £5's worth out of it. And of course, as Animal said, we will be getting the East Coast Main Line. Well, part of the East Coast Main Line is part of TSW4. Is that the Scotsman? No, it's not. Because I have got the Scotsman as well, so I wonder if the Scotsman will randomly appear. Anyway, let's give it some beans. Yeah, it's not had a lot of love. Yeah, I can kind of tell that. I mean, it looks alright from the outside, but the inside could kind of do with a bit of a makeover, couldn't it? I'm surprised there's no enhancement pack, you know, from AP or similar for this. Because lots of people like Deltics, don't they? I can see why. And AP do a lot of those enhancement packs. In fact, AP has got a sale on right now. There's a 40% sale going on. I think. Oh, hang on. We can go to 125 on this stretch. I forgot. I think the sale's till Monday night, like a bank holiday sale. And I've got wheel slip. Just drop that a little bit. Get some grip. I got the. I already had the cloud and weather, sky and weather pack, not the clouds. I haven't got the clouds, so I did pick up the signalling pack, which was reduced, and I got the Wherry Lines version 2, which was also reduced. And I was tempted to get one of those Class 37 packs that they've got, because they're down to $17.99 each. I fancy one of them. I've not made my mind up yet. I've got until tomorrow night to kind of decide. But I'm actually quite enjoying my train simulator at the moment. Bit of a change from just playing TSW, so. Popcorn, how are you? You're almost not late. Good evening, Farah, how are you? Right, let's give it the full beans now. We're up to speed. Yes, this one's set in 1964. This little scenario. It's quite a long, straight stretch of route, isn't it, this, from York up to Newcastle. I didn't realise, because I'm not from this neck of the woods, I don't think I've ever travelled. I've been to York, I've been to Darlington, I don't think I've been to Newcastle, but I certainly haven't travelled up the East Coast Main Line. Not on this section. But it's pretty straight, isn't it? Unlike the West Coast Main Line, which of course is quite curvy in places. "24 miles to go to North Ellerton." Yeah, bank holiday bonus, that's correct. Yeah, why not? No work tomorrow, so thought we'd do an hour. By the way, thanks everybody for watching the visit to Dovetail video. That's been quite a popular one. I've been quite pleased with that one. And it's still getting plenty of views, which is nice. I did have lots more footage from down at Dovetail, but I wasn't completely sure what I could and couldn't show. Although looking through it, I think everything that I had got recorded has actually been announced now, so I don't think I'll be giving anything away. But for obvious reasons, I just wanted to be careful. But yeah, it's been a popular video, that one. A lot of people have said to me, do more of those kind of ones, but you all want to get me on camera, but I need to think of a subject first. I mean, that one was quite easy because I was going on the trip anyway. But when TS4 is out, TSW4 is out, and we get the Ormskirk, Preston, Blackpool route, I definitely will do a few more of those, because what I think I will do is visit the locations, as I mentioned in the previous video, because a lot of the locations are quite local to me, so it'll be nice to get out there and just do a quick comparison, you know. You've started at King's Cross and gone all the way up the East Coast Main Line, across Edinburgh to Glasgow, most of the way down the West Coast Main Line. Just got Birmingham to London left. Class 91 and APT back down. Yep, nice. Edwards, I think the Deltics and 91s will come to TSW4 because they're extremely requested. They did that with another one. You mean the Pacer was well requested, and that's now finally coming out. I'm trying to think of the other one. Was it the 313 for East Coastway? I think that was requested for the longest time as well, and then they brought that out when the East Coastway came out. A lot of people were up in arms because it didn't come with it, but they soon sorted that out. And actually, that 313 is quite a nice little DLC. Quite enjoy running that one. It's very similar to the Cathcart Circle 314, isn't it, though? Which came out, I think that came out before it. And the 700 as well, of course, yeah, for South Eastern High Speed. That was another one that everybody wanted. I think out of the Deltic and the 91, from what I can see, the 91 is being requested more than the Deltic. I don't really mind which, to be honest. I mean, this can you imagine this Deltic at TSW4 standards, or just general TSW standards than F before? That'll be some loco, wouldn't it? This track's bumpy, isn't it? See it go around that bend? It goes around the bend and shakes. And I've noticed as well there's a couple of dips I think that's showing its age. There's a couple of dips in the track as well, where you almost fall down a couple of feet and bounce back up again. How are we doing? We've got 16, just under 16 miles to North Allerton. Let's have a look where it is we're going. It's just North Allerton and then Darlington. Due at North Allerton, 15:04. So about 16 minutes time. Animal, you prefer the Deltic, but in the proper blue. Not sure about it in green. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. The green. I mean, the green is. The green's quite nice, but I would say the blue looks better. I'd probably agree with you there. Yeah. I mentioned something about the trophies for TSW4, but preferred Matt to discuss it first. Was it mentioned in the roadmap? No, I don't believe it was. I don't believe it was. I will remind him. I'll ping him and remind him about it for all those players that are on console, so that it does get mentioned. Because he might have a bit more information than I've got, so I'll let him tell. And if, well, I'll say that, but I'll say to him, I'll ask him, can I also mention it? Because that's the other thing. If he says it's fine for me to mention it, then I'll let you know. Because again, I don't really want to step on anybody's toes. Purple? Was there a purple one? I mean, it's nice to have the different liveries in the game straight away. But I guess if it did come with a green one, then somebody in the livery editor would probably bring out a blue one pretty much straight away, wouldn't they? And I'm hoping that livery designer version 2 works a little bit better than the first one did, because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes if you picked a timetable service, let's say for a 66, where you got some alternate liveries downloaded from Creators Club, sometimes I'd pick that livery that I wanted and it wouldn't spawn in with it. It would spawn in with the original livery, which used to annoy me a little bit. Apparently all that's been fixed now, so that should be a lot better. Thanks to SNCF, you saw the achievement list. Seems like more of the same. Yeah, the actually the brief go that I had while I was down at Dovetail, I think I managed to pop 3 or 4 of the trophies while I was sat there on the dev kit, which I thought was quite interesting. So the minute it reminded me, actually, the minute the first one popped, I thought, oh, trophies are switched on. So I did have a quick look to see what they were. They're just the standard, do a certain amount of miles, get a certain amount of medals. Well, you've seen the list. I don't think there's anything, once again, too taxing in that list. I do think as well that the mileage ones, if you are transferring your progress across, it will be the same as last time. Where if let's say there's one to do 10,000 miles, if you've already got 10,000 miles, you probably just have to cover 1 mile, and it will re-pop the trophy, but in the TSW4 version. Because that's what happened last time, certainly with me, between the other 2 games. You know, you'd have to do the 10,000 again. It depends whether you want to. You probably would end up doing 10,000 again anyway, but 55016 was hired to Porterbrook from the Deltic Fund who painted it purple. I'll Google that after and have a look. It sounds disgusting. Right, we've got 7 miles to our first stop. So very shortly we will be slowing it down. Good evening, Ghost, how are you? You wouldn't Google it, okay. Is it that bad? I suppose purple's a good colour if you want it to be noticed. We'll be doing some more Euro Truck 2, by the way, because the Euro Truck 2 videos are quite popular too, and everyone keeps saying do more, do some longer ones. So I think we might have a look at that at some point this week as well. Although back on the TSW4 subject, I know Dovetail have got a few streams planned for this week. Can't remember the schedule exactly, but there's at least a couple. So. You know, I probably will be watching those, but we'll sort something out. A diesel blasting past the steam. do more, you can add me to the list. Right, we've got a double yellow, so I guess we'll start bringing it down. We've still got 3.4 miles, but... Oh, does it? If you press F6 when a train's passing, it will tell you what it is. I didn't know that. I have a terrible feeling this is a red signal. Yeah, it is. Ah, come on, change! change! It's not going to change, is it? Oh god. We're going to spad. We're going to spad. What happened? Why did it not spad? I don't understand. Why did that not spad? Or does it let you spad in a non-career scenario? Maybe it does. Let's take off the brakes. There's something in front of me, isn't there? This is interesting. Yes, lucky, yeah, but I don't get it. Why would it let me through? Right, I'm going to start here, stop here I should say, and just wait for this to pull away in front of me, providing it does. I can't tell if that's moving or not. I don't think it is. Here comes the steamer. Let's do what Dave says. Yeah, you're right. We've got Penzance to Edinburgh. We've got Newcastle to Manchester Airport. You're probably on the list anyway. Oh yeah, yeah. 3 months of saving. Ordered your Steam Deck. Oh nice, nice. Right, is this one in front of me going to move or not? What do you guys reckon? can't tell what that is doing. Shall we go and have a look? The 47. Well, I wonder if me going through that light has pranged it. So, oh no, he's off. He's off, I think. Yeah, there he goes. He's got a yellow. Right, we'll just wait and see what happens. Oh, automatic lining. Oh, does it? I didn't realise that. Yeah, I don't do a lot in the... Oh, you wish it had the automatic lining. I've got you. I don't do a lot in livery designer, as most of you know. There's the map. That's me. There's the guy in front of us. He's off. So we'll move forward to this red, and we'll see once he's cleared the block in front whether it lets us through. Shall we? We'll just creep up, I think. Penzance to Edinburgh. Yeah, that's the trip, isn't it? How many hours would that be? 12? Certainly more than 10, is it? It's a decent trek. Yeah, give it a push. Is that... But this, I still don't understand why I was able to go for a red and it didn't end the scenario. Is that because it was a standard scenario and not a career one? If that was a career one, would it have just spadded me out? I was fully expecting it to spad. But we seem to have got away with it, and now we've got a yellow light, so we're all good. Phew! That was going to be a pain. Only a mile and a half outside North Allerton. I mean, we're actually early. Due in at 15:12, and it's expecting us at 15:04, so we're quite early. Yeah, correct, Dave. Yeah, I have done that a few times, and it's magically changed from red to yellow. Yeah, let's just amble in, shall we? Being as we're early. What did you put? Sorry to be Mr. Negative, but with me currently employing workarounds to get trophies to pop, I'd say it was a bug. Could be. Yeah, I don't know why you got timed out, by the way. It's the stupid Streamlabs again. Sorry about that. I don't think you even posted a link, did you? It's daft. Needs fixing. It's a sticky point, isn't it? Because it's meant to be a new game, but you can transfer your progress from an old game. I mean, I can see why they've done it, because people are less likely to buy a new game if they can't transfer the progress that they've spent, you know, a whole year or more on. Therefore, you're right, the trophies will just pop, which, you know, in some ways is good for some people. But requires very little effort, doesn't it? People won't like it. What is this line I've got going across the sky? Can you see that? What is that? It's like a section of the sky. Yeah, you know the Streamlabs by now. It's completely daft. Right, here we are. This is North Allerton. Let's make sure we can try and stop properly this time, shall we? Good evening, Mr. Water. How are you? I might just go beyond the signal there. Are we good? Nah, I'm just slightly past it. Oh well. Everybody in brown suits is getting on. That's a shame. Just overran it slightly. Right, we're going to have a long wait, aren't we? Because we are early. So, shall we have a look round whilst we're here? This is North Allerton. So I don't know what we've got over here. Bit of a town. We've got the houses sinking into the soil, into the grass, like we've had a landslide. Factory over that side. Yeah, you can tell it's an older route, can't you? But for a £5, it's a bargain, I would say. So I'm not too fussed. What's this? We've got an advert for milk chocolate. Durham and York. This isn't the where's the Roundtrees factory? That's on a different line, isn't it? That's not on this line. It's near York, it's more near York, isn't it? You see adverts for Kit Kats and things as you pull into the station. I don't think it's this station. I could be wrong. I know when I've travelled from Preston to I was doing a job in Bradford once, and I went from Preston to Bradford quite a lot, and we passed some factory, some chocolate factory. I'm sure it was Roundtrees. Roundtrees is near York, yeah. KH, good evening, how are you? Great to see a Deltic out and about, certainly is. Now that I've played this here, I definitely want one in TSW, so fingers crossed. Let's get that East Coast main line out first, and then hopefully soon we'll see some DLC packs. I actually need to have a double check of that roadmap slide, because it shows the DLC releases, doesn't it, for the next few months on there. I don't recall seeing local DLC for the East Coast main line as one of those, but I would have to double check it. If it is on there, then you pretty much know what it's going to be, don't you? I don't know if we'd get the Deltic and the 91 as one pack. It would probably be separate trains, wouldn't it? Separate DLCs. But I think they both sell really well. They must have a notice board. I didn't see it, but they must have a notice board at Dovetail with all the locos and routes down one side. And on one side they've got the list that says license to print money. This is probably on there, I would say. The Pacer is just about being scrubbed out now because that's coming on the Blackpool route. Right, so we're saying we've got to wait till 15:12. Let's just check our schedule. We're going to Darlington. Well, let's have a look at the briefing, because we didn't look at the full briefing, did we? It says, today we've got quite a few problems. Firstly, the slow lines are closed between Skelton Junction and Thirsk. This means that freight and passenger services have to share the line, so expect a lot of stop-start running. As well as this, the line north of Darlington is closed for emergency engineering work. So today, we are going to Darlington, where a Class 47 will take over for the rest of the journey to Newcastle via the Durham coast. Stick to following timetable and commence passenger boarding by the following time. So, yeah, North Allerton 15:12, then Darlington 15:28. So. It's a shame you get one train and one route for 30 quid now. Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it, the pricing? It's like we always say, you know, the price is always going to be the price, and then it just comes down to you whether you think it's value for money or not. And different things will appeal to different players. So like this Preston route that's coming out, being my local route, they could, you know, I could pay 50 quid for that. I'd probably be happy, you know. But some routes in the past that I've paid for, I've got them, but I've not been that bothered about them. So East Coastway, for example, I bought that one when it came out because it was UK, but I'm contrary to most players' views on it, I'm not a massive fan of East Coastway. I think it's all right, but I don't think it's mega special. Do you know what I mean? It's good and I can play it, but I got bored quite easily of it for some reason, and I can't quite put my finger on it. So, you know, to me, that it was worth it at the time, but I soon got bored of it, is what I'm trying to say. The only thing is as well is that if you go back to previous history as well, if you don't need the route right away, and I know you've done this, Farah, quite a lot, but if you don't need the route right away and you're not desperate to play it, you know, within 6 months it's usually in some sort of sale at some sort of discount, which is maybe more in line with the sort of price that you want to pay. And that's the reason why I've not bought a lot of DLC yet for Train Sim Classic, because I know from history, and some of you guys have already told me, that the minute a sale comes on, you know, you get ridiculous prices on some of the DLC, so it's not worth buying it straight away. So, you know, it's perfectly fine to wait for a sale. I think Dovetail know that. Lots of people do that. KH is Kevin, or Beer Monster. I quite like Beer Monster, to be honest. Speaking of which, I've got some beers in the fridge, and it is a bank holiday, so straight after this I may have to delve into a couple of those at least. Yeah, exactly, Farry. Yeah, so Birmingham was $17.99. That's about right that you want to pay. You know, you only have to pay the full price if you want it on day one. You know, even TSW4, if you didn't pick TSW4 up on the pre-order, which is currently where it's discounted, I don't think you will have to wait long until you'll get a discount. I bet you by Christmas, because there's always a decent sale at Christmas, I bet by Christmas you'll get a few quid off TSW4. You know, if you can wait. It all just depends what your idea of value for money is, really. Right, so we should be nearly going. It is 15:12. I've already crept past this signal. So we will get underway, shall we? Let's get the brakes off. Wheel slip. If you look at one train, one route for 30 quid, then you look at TSW4 Premium for 40, you get 3 routes and 2 locos. And that's exactly what I've been trying to tell people in the comments for the recent videos, because a lot of people said to me, oh, here we go, dovetail, cash grab. It's not a cash grab though, is it, when you think of it the way you just said it, Animal? You know what I mean? It is a good price. That if you think of it in just terms of the routes, I mean, if you've got progress from before, it carries over, so you don't need to worry that you've wasted all your time. Think of it as a set of new routes, as you said. That will help take the sting out, you know. I think a lot of people that have certainly put some negativity in my comments will probably end up getting it, and even if they don't get it when it launches, like I said, by Christmas, by the time the first sale on it, and I don't know if it will be Christmas, I would just assume based on, you know, how it's worked before, a lot of them will still pick it up by Christmas, but again, it's personal choice. Nobody's forcing anybody to buy anything. I think some players will, you know, forget that. And it's probably because, they probably say it because they want to get TSW4, they want it, but they feel like they're being held to ransom. But nobody is. It's completely down to every individual whether they want to pick it up, you know. And, you know, you don't know what the dovetail model is. It could be that next September it's TSW5, and if it is, you know, decide now whether this is where you jump off or whether you carry on and expect TSW5 next year. But the way it's been, I would hazard a guess that this time next year we will be talking about TSW5, but who knows? Who knows? It depends how the sales of this one goes, I suppose, doesn't it? Right, we've got 12 miles to Darlington. Let's just watch the speed. Mr. Waters getting the deluxe edition for $42.99. Not paying $71.99 for special edition. Yeah, $71.99 is quite a lot, isn't it? But $42.99 for what you get in that pack is actually not bad value, is it? As Animal said. Yeah, I will get all those maps probably at the same. If they're all on sale, I think I just missed out on them last time for under $5 each. Those ETS2 maps. I just missed out on that. But if they're $5 again, I might just snap up the whole lot in one go, you know, whilst it's a sale. I might not play them for ages, but I can get them in the library, at least. Yeah, there is that, Animal. I'm with you because my internet's rubbish as well. Are you on PC, Animal? I can't remember whether you're on PC or console, because I know on console, at least, you know, you can whack them all into your download queue, and then put it in rest mode, and it should download them overnight. You know, just go to bed, leave it doing its thing, which is what I did last time, I think. Yeah, you got it exactly right there, Edward. Yeah, I think that's right. As I've said it before, though, in a couple of videos ago, it's a shame because when I was down at Dovetail, I was talking to them. I was talking to all the guys at Dovetail, Matt, Ben, who does the music, who works in the community team, JD was on his holidays, Jamie, Alex. I had a chance to talk to them all one-to-one at different points over the 2 days. I'm not kidding, right? The stuff that you see in the streams, talking to them directly one-to-one, like you would talk to anybody, it's their job, but they really came across to me as caring about what they did. And they won't want negative feedback. They've all worked really hard on it, and they continue to do so. And if you think about it, they're a lot more open, aren't they, than some developers are. I don't think they receive enough credit for that, But I came away from there thinking, I only, like you guys, I only knew what I could see in the streams. But when you talk to somebody, you can kind of tell. And they're all into it. They're all well into it, and they want it to do well, and they're doing the best work. And a lot of people, I was fortunate enough to be able to see that firsthand, and a lot of people won't get that opportunity. But honestly, you can trust me on that one. Good evening, Gilly. How are you? We're in the Deltic just for you tonight, Gilly, on the Ecml. There we go. Let's have some tones for Gilly, I think. There we go. Perfect. Beer monsters on the stout. Oatmeal stout? That sounds a bit filling. Is it like twice the thickness of Guinness? Sounds very filling. Anything with oatmeal sounds very filling to me. Yeah, that's it, Animal. Yeah, it's a shame I can't. What I should have done is kind of done. If I'd have had more time, and if there's another event like this, I might do it. Is kind of do a little bit of interviewing for my own channel, so that I can ask. I can kind of ask what I want, and you can see the answers from them directly. But they're definitely quite passionate about what they do. And most of us do a job, don't we? And we kind of do it, and we get the money, and we think, right, okay, we have to work. But these guys, these guys were spending time, like, actually, willing to talk to us and engaging with us, and it seemed a bit more like work than it was just work to them. It seemed a bit more hobbyish as well, it was actually quite refreshing to see it. Oh, Gilly's got a hangover. I'm not going to ask that question, Animal. If he's disappeared out of the chat, then you know the answer. How many people did they have working there? I think that's a difficult one to say, because I think, like a lot of companies, since the pandemic, they've kind of said to people, you can work where you think you'll do your best work. So there was a few people in the office when we were down there, but by no means was it everybody. The office was fairly empty, I would say. But I know they've got artists, haven't they, and sound engineers and all those kind of people. So there's a decent team. I wouldn't like to guess. I don't know, because they've got some guys that are not working in the UK as well, haven't they? They've got some guys in Germany and other places. Green 47. Dragon's blood. What are you guys drinking? Oh, I went out for one yesterday and it was 3 AM by the time you'd finished that one. More like one barrel, was it? It's bank holiday weekend, why not? Everyone gets an extra day off. We've got 2 miles until Darlington. So when you're playing the Tees Valley line and you leave Darlington on the Tees Valley line in TSW, I did always wonder, you know, when you come out of the station, you sort of turn to your left towards Saltburn. I did always wonder what was straight ahead. This is it, isn't it? It's this East Coast Main Line. And like I said, having not travelled on this one, wasn't familiar to me, but it's nice to see it from a different angle. Right, we've got 25 coming up. In fact, we've got a red, haven't we, just outside the station, so let's get stopped if we can this time. Right, all green, let's go. Dave, by the way, for this route, I don't know if you know, but I did go on the workshop and have a quick look. There does seem to be quite a few workshop scenarios available for this route as well, which, well, you would probably expect given the age of it, but yeah, that was nice to see. I have downloaded a few, which I will try out, just to add a bit of extra playability. Let me just show you this. So that's where we go off to Saltburn, up there in TSW, up that side. And here is the familiar Darlington. Looks a little bit different around it, doesn't it, to this left-hand side. We've got this kind of factory with these cooling towers outside as well, which don't appear in the TSW version. It's a housing estate in the TSW version. So this is 60s. I think the TSW version is it late 80s? I think it's late 80s. Scotland might not have this one, but they get an extra one at the new year. It's probably better at the new year, isn't it? Yeah, lots of stuff in the workshop. It's quite good, that workshop, actually. And it's good that a lot of it, you just need the standard routes. You know, you don't need to download anything special to make things work. Because it can be a bit of a nightmare, can't it, to get all the requirements for some of these scenarios that people actually make. I'm going to overshoot the signal again. I'm not very good at that. Not to worry, because this is our final stop. Is that car parked there in the TSW version, or has that been filled in? I can't remember. Don't know if that's still there actually. Yeah, we do. We have that little bit. I think there's one scenario where you can go about 20 or 30 meters down the East Coast, main line, but that's as far as you can get. You have finished the scenario, but not all aspects were completed. Try again for a clean result. Well, that will be the SPAD that I did. Yeah, signal past at danger once, speeding once, wheel slippage. I'll take it. That's the first time in a Deltic, so I quite enjoyed that. There's a lot of other. Let me just have a quick look. These are the East Coast mainline ones. So we got that's an HST. That's an HST. Deltic 4747. Deltic HST 47. Deltic. There's plenty. 47 HST. Deltic. There's quite a few you can run, varying lengths. Look at this one, 150 minutes. That one. That's a decent run, isn't it, that one? So that is it for tonight. It's just a quick one. So hopefully you've enjoyed that one. Thanks for jumping in on a Sunday night, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for those likes as well. That really helps me out a lot. Take it easy. I'll be back this week with something early this week, so keep an eye out for that. Until then, thanks everybody. See you on the next one. Bye for now.